I'm sure you all want to know the secret to day trading success. Everyone does. Who wouldn't? How's it, guys? Welcome. Hi, Mark. Welcome. I see you here. Fantastic. Everyone else will be here in a moment. Don't forget, trading's risky. Most traders do lose money. And yeah, trading is hard, eh? Not easy. Some of you will win, some of you will lose. How's it, Elaine? Good to see you. Welcome. And yeah, it's a fun day. The secret to day trading success. I bet you all want to know that secret. You know what the secret is? Get over your fear and be patient. Be patient. Sit on your hands, crush them, make them numb, whatever the case. How's it, Shane? Good to see you. And Blue Mango, good to see you as well. Hey, good to see you guys, man. Yeah, it's lovely. Actually, this Great British Pound, oh, nasty one, man. You know what? I was short, and it went against me here. And guess what? I stopped out early because I thought, it's broken through, it's broken up. And I took an early loss. And look at that, straight back down. So I got back in the trade again. What a monster. Tell you what, let's put the little colorful things in here so you can see what's going on and what we're looking at. But yep, yeah, it's the wrong way around, man. Oh no, I don't want that one. Let's remove that. We want the what position? Yep, green one. And there it is. Target's down here. Okay. Yeah, that's the position. There we are. How's it, Danny? Good to see you. Welcome in. So we took that position, and I'm put down on Brent crude oil. Brent crude oil has turned against me, but I'm not too concerned about that because I do believe it'll go up eventually. It'll find its feet. It always does. Now, the gold. Shane, you were calling it short the other day, and now it's short. Now it's going short. Look at this. It went long. I expected it to. It came down. It took that money, went back up. It retested that, came down again, took that money again. So there must have been a lot of money there. And it's gone back up. It's hit a resistance again. That resistance has given me a shaven head. Shaven head is when you've got two flat tops at the top here. There is a slight tail on the green one, but it pretty much looks like a shaven head at the top there. And it's dropped straight back down again. Got a feeling that this could definitely go on the short side now because of that resistance. I don't know if it's going to reach that because with that shaven head, looks like it's had enough. Probably come down. I doubt it's going to take money for a third time. Probably keep on going down. What might hold it up is this trend support going up the side here. That trend support might hold it up, but I think short trades at the moment are not a bad thing on gold. Even though it's showing bullish. By the way, it is showing bullish, eh? It is bullish. It's trend is your friend, and you'll be wanting to go against the trend if you do take the short here. But sometimes you got to do these things. Sometimes you got to take the plunge. It's a 50-50 game, guys. Nothing is straightforward. United States dollar, Canadian dollar, I think it was. Yeah, Canadian dollar. Saw the short here, looked good, but I see we got this big green candle coming back up, but I still think we got a good short on here. At the moment, it's hit resistance, and it's in a downward trend here. So I would say, it hit that, it broke back through that, was resistance, broke up, came back, hit it as support, broke through, it's broken through, it's coming down. It's in a trend to the downside. Looks like it will probably go all the way back down to here. It looks like it's found its way back into this range. And you know what a range is like, buying the bottom, selling the top, buying the bottom, selling the top. I think this is a bit of an anomaly up here. So we won't ignore that, but we will look at it as it's broken back into the level, and it looks like it wants to go down now. And that's Mahim, how's it? Welcome. Good to see you guys. Always great to get together with you guys on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And I do it a little bit later on the Thursday so that everybody can get involved. But I have noticed that the Thursday shows, there's a few less people normally, maybe because it's a different time zone. Maybe the people come in a little bit later on as well. But yeah, I still do it anyway so that you guys can all get a little bit of fun and a little bit of information on the go. But yeah, guys, the real secret to trading success is just to get over the fear and to get over the impatience. The impatience isn't actually a big issue. I've seen it over and over again. Sorry, guys, it is trading with coffee with Rob. Not, I don't trade, I drink coffee. That's all I do is drink coffee and sometimes a beer. Rumen will be here soon, maybe. But you know, the big thing is with trading being boring as such, the big problem is people start looking for things to do because, you know, if you're trading on 4-hour charts, daily charts, weekly charts, you take less and less and less and less trades. And when you take less and less and less trades, you know, the other option is to keep it less boring, is to trade more than you want to risk and maybe put larger amounts in and that sort of thing, trade higher percentages, whatever the case. But what you end up doing, most people end up doing, is they end up dropping down the time frames because they want to see charts moving. They want to see something happening. They're looking for something to trade because trading is boring. So then you start trading on lower and lower and lower time frames. And sometimes that can be detrimental. Depends who you are and what your mentality is like, because you do have to get over the fear as well. But patience is the big issue. Waiting for trades to come to you or chasing trades. And what many traders end up doing, and as I always say to you guys, I've done all of this. I've made all these mistakes, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to show you the mistakes that I've made. And I ended up chasing trades as well because I also got bored and I started trading on lower time frames and doing all these silly things. And you end up chasing trades. You end up looking for things to do and to keep yourself busy because you can't sit and watch paint dry. Nobody can sit and watch paint dry. I did find other ways to keep myself busy. For example, start a YouTube channel, but that's now recently, obviously. But in the past, I used to like have businesses and things like that on the go, and that would keep me busy as well. Had other things to do. I even had a property company at one time. I had a computer company. I had a motor parts company. I had a few different things going at different times that kept me busy and kept me going. And you know, because to sit and look at charts all day is really like watching paint dry. And then if you are just sitting looking at charts all day, what's going to happen effectively is you're going to end up dropping on the time frames because you're looking for something to do, looking for something else to keep you busy. The only other thing that can keep you excited is if you trade large amounts, you know, and you start doing high risk trading and that sort of thing. That can also get the adrenaline going, let's say. And there were times when I was trading, I find myself with, because you have, as a trader, we love monitors, we love screens, we love having monitors all over the place. I've even got a monitor up there that's off, I mean, for no reason at all. But I found myself for a while being a gamer, like I told you guys on Tuesday. For a while there, I was sitting playing games, man. You know, while all the charts are running, I was like, nothing's happening there, so I'll do something to keep me busy. Thank heavens I found YouTube and something more constructive to do and show you guys how to trade. Whatnot. But yeah, it's insanely boring. It's a very, very, very boring game, but it's a fun game. It's something that we all enjoy doing, and it's very, very, very addictive, guys. It's very addictive. I tried at one stage because I was busy with some other project. I tried to leave it for a while. And I thought, well, it can just rest there and I'll just have my investments going. I don't need to be trading at the moment. Do you know, I actually got like this itchy feeling like I needed to trade. I couldn't leave it. It was like riding a motorbike. You really need to go back to it. You really need to, you can't get away from this thing. You never get away. Once you're a trader, you never get away from it. You will always be wanting to trade or do something. And if you just hear that the S&P is going up and you're not trading, it's like, wow, missing out here so bad. You know, that fear of missing out, that FOMO, you're like, I'm missing out on all this. You know, how can the S&P be going to the moon while I'm doing this? I should be in there trading. So yeah, no, it is addictive, and you do get stuck on it big time. Just so you guys know, you know, that's a fact, and that's just how it is. You're not going to be able to change that. And Brewman is here, and as I said earlier, Brewman, I drink coffee and sometimes beer. Well, these days I do like the odd gin and tonic. It's quite nice. I used to like whiskey a lot. These days I actually prefer a good gin and tonic. It's actually quite tasty. I really love it. Tell you what. In the old days, our mothers used to be alcoholics on gin and tonic. It was like the thing, you know, if some woman was drinking gin and tonic, she was like bubbles around the head, you know, like totally like alcoholic. But these days it's become quite a posh thing, quite a unique thing, and there's a lot of tastings and everything going on, and it's really cool. And I like it. I really do enjoy it. Bitcoin will go down to 107 before it goes up, says Shane. So, Shane, let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. And you know what? I don't disagree with Shane at all here, because I'll tell you what, this 110 level, really strong level. Really strong level. So, okay, 107's pushing it a bit, but, you know, that's the next level down, 107. But what I am seeing on Bitcoin is this slight slope to the downside, this slight evil slope that, you know, it's pushing down, pushing down, pushing down. It's lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs all the time. It's slight, but it's there. And that's kind of pushing it down. So I cannot disagree with Shane on that one. That is pretty spot on. But there's two ways that this can go. Of course, the other way is it breaks to the upside. And if it breaks to the upside, then it's going to shoot to 150. But I think if it stays on this calm slope, it'll keep on sloping down. It'll eventually get back down to this at least 110 level, 111. And at that level, you can actually start looking at entry points. You can actually start looking to see if there's a good move on Bitcoin to the upside that you can actually make some money on. But Shane, you get all the ads. What we did is we actually got together as the A team, as a group of traders, and said, you know what? There's going to be ads on these videos, loads of them. Let's give them all to Shane. Shane won't mind, and so we thought you wouldn't mind that you would get all the ads. You know, the funny thing about YouTube is, if whether I switch the ads on or off, it doesn't matter. You still get the ads. So it's kind of irrelevant. It's the strangest thing, but it's just kind of irrelevant. And I don't know why that is. Bruman. Okay, we forgot about you. So you're getting ads as well. But you know, it's the way of the world. You know, it's the way of the world. Somebody has to pay for this platform to be there. And yeah, if you think about that, let's be fair. They provide a platform that needs, I don't know, millions of servers. It needs loads and loads of place to store these videos and to put all the stuff in, so that you guys can watch this on TV. We can watch it on phones. We can watch it on computers. I mean, it's got the biggest viewership in the world at the moment, YouTube. But they have to supply that platform for you. And that doesn't come cheap, and it doesn't come for free. And the technology that they put in there doesn't come for free. So who's actually paying for it? At the end of the day, the advertisers are paying for it. So I get it. You know, I understand it. I get annoyed. I sit and I'm watching a YouTube show and I keep going through these ads, and I've got the remote, like skip. You know, I know how it is. I do it as well. But yeah, I also understand the process and why it's there. What really annoys me is, like, we've got a thing in South Africa called DSTV. You guys might have cable or something like that, where I pay a monthly subscription, and not a small amount. It's a large amount that you pay for a decent premium subscription for these guys, for the sport and the movies and things like that. And what annoys me is when they give me ads there. I'm paying for premium. I'm paying you a monthly fee, and I'm one of the 600,000 people paying you that fee. And at the end of the day, you put ads on my movie, and that really annoys me. Although they don't do it on my sport, they do it at the beginning, at the end, but they still do it, and they do it at half time. But they still do it, and they shouldn't, because at the end of the day, I'm paying a fee for that service. So, for example, on YouTube, if you pay for premium, you don't get any ads. I don't know if you know that. If you pay for premium YouTube, you don't have to watch any ads. That's fair for me. That's fair, because you're giving them a monthly amount, and on these, you know, if you're not giving them a monthly amount, then you pay for it with ads. I mean, that for me is perfectly fair. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. What I really get irked about is, like, for example, when I watch, like, DSTV, to name one, and I'm paying them a monthly fee, a monthly premium, and I still have to watch ads, and that for me doesn't work at all. That is, you know, that's unfair. You know, because they don't have a free service. You have to pay for their service. You're paying for their service. What's this thing with ads? Either have ads or have a paid service. I mean, It's a really expensive service as well. I mean, I don't have to watch ads on Netflix, for example. I pay my monthly fee and I can watch it. I don't have to watch ads on Disney. I pay my monthly fee and I can watch it. And the same on YouTube. If I pay premium, I don't have to watch ads. It's simple. So yeah. Yeah, premium on YouTube is really good, guys. I mean, you don't have to watch any ads. It's fantastic, actually. Yeah, Blue Mango, exactly what I'm saying. You know, we're paying a monthly subscription. What is it, 1,000 something rand a month now? We pay them, and we get ads. I mean, it's not fair, is it? I mean, come on. So Brooman, I just sold premium to Brooman on YouTube. Do you know what? YouTube should pay me commission, man. Mind you, maybe they do. Yeah, no, it's unbelievable. Yeah, no, you. By the way, YouTube, it's a pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Yeah, no, I just sold Brooman a premium subscription on YouTube. Oh, well, there you go. But I agree, Blue Manga. It's worth it. It's totally worth it. You don't see any ads, and that's what I believe in. I believe if you are paying premium, goodness me, guys, you shouldn't be seeing ads. You know, now that's only fair. Eh? That's only fair. Yeah. So anyway, the day trader's pitfall is that you end up getting bored and you end up dropping off on those time frames, and you end up looking for those trades, and yeah, they do tend to go after you. So the Euro Great British Pound is giving me my money back. You see, the money I lost this morning was taking that stop loss is now coming back to me. So thank you. That's decent. There you go. Look at that, guys. All that money that went down the loo this morning is back. So perfect. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then, of course, there's Brent crude oil that could do a little bit better. You know, I need to boost it on a little bit and give it a bit of show there. But yeah, even this show, for example, now we've got a show here. We've got a live show where I go over a few things for you guys, and we talk, and you can ask questions, and I'll give you some information where I can, and show you where mislead you down that path that I went on. And yeah, even this show, if I was showing you 5-minute charts and 15-minute charts, and the lines were moving up and down like crazy, I'd have hundreds of viewers on here, because that's more interesting. The mind needs to be occupied these days, and it seems to be a big thing. If the mind isn't moving, something's wrong. You know, it needs to be occupied by things that are happening, things that are fast. And if things are slow, then the mind sort of is tricked into thinking that something's wrong and we need to move something or make something move. It's the same as if, even on YouTube, if I put a video out and I'm talking really slowly and I don't do much editing and I just put it out there, no one will watch it. You know, I got to make it interesting. I got to make it quick, and I got to make it interesting. Otherwise, no one will watch it. So it's actually a very interesting psychology that people need something to keep them occupied. People need something to keep them busy. So effectively, really what happens is the guys are sitting looking at this chart. There's a chart of gold, and he's looking at it and thinking, well, it's come off the resistance, it's going down, and that's it. Now, you can't sit and look at that for the whole day. It's not going to work for you. It's not going to work for anyone. So you end up like, oh, I need to take a trade here. You drop down the time frames and you start looking for that excitement, which does exist, because I mean, if you drop this down to the 5-minute time frame, you're going to get quite a lot of excitement here. This is going to move quite a lot. Now, look at this on the 5-minute time frame. There's the line I drew in. That line in the sand that I drew in, that's the resistance. Look at the big candles that have broken through there all the way down. That didn't look so big on the 4-hour, but on the 5-minute, it's insane. And you've got this movement, and now you've got these candles moving up and down here, going in different directions. You've got a support at this level. You could go long, and you could make a few points to the upside here. There's something happening. That's the whole point of dropping down the time frames. So you drop down the time frames because you're bored and you get caught up in this because it looks pretty much the same as if you're trading on the 4. Only difference is it's actually moving. And that's the day trader's pitfall. You get sucked in and you start trading on this, and believe me, you'll have a few wins. You can scalp this quite easily. I've done it many a time when I was bored. The problem is the ones that you lose, the ones that go pear-shaped. Those are the problem ones. It is very difficult as well to, for example, we have a strategy of how much we can lose and how much we can win and how we can set our trades up and position it and whatnot. And sometimes these are moving so fast that it's really difficult to position your trade, and you end up just clicking buy and sell as quickly as possible. But yeah, this is how a lot of, let's say online traders, I'll call them online traders, actually show you they're making money. I mean, it's actually very, very interesting because if you see a green candle going, what would you do? You quickly buy it, let it go 4 or 5 pips, take a couple $100 off it and click sell. You could do that, and if it keeps going your way, you're going to scalp it quite easily, make a few points. So I think that's what a lot of people actually do. I'm just not that kind of trader anymore, and I don't have the inclination to do it. I prefer my long-term sort of set and forget sort of ideas, where I just get into a trade and wait for it to play out and see how it goes and see what happens. But yeah, you can do that if you want to. It's up to you. Many of us do. And if it works for you, that's great. Rumen, $8. It's about R1 million, $8. I don't know. Like, people ask me. One guy asked me the other day, "Are you a millionaire? Have you got millions?" I replied to it. Interesting question. Really interesting question. Why are you asking me that? Why are you asking me how much money I've got? Goodness me. I don't ask anyone. In my culture, it's a bit of an insult to ask someone how much money they got. Sorry, but that's just how it is. And also it's not safe to tell people. Anyway, it's kind of wrong, and I'm also quite a humble person when it comes to that, and I don't show off, and I don't go around treating people that have got less badly or anything to that effect. And I can tell you that some people only care about that materialistic. It's, you see it. Look, you see it on the online as well. The guys are showing off their Ferraris and Lambos and things all the time. Look at this. Look at me. Very important to people. Very important. But I can't believe a guy actually asked that question. Have you got millions? On a comment. I was like, yeah, interesting question, man. Interesting question. Rumen, I was talking about Rob's account. My $8, yeah. $8 is like R1 million. So yeah, you're right. It's Rob's account. That's why at every opportunity I try and put my money into dollars or pounds or something, because I know it's going to grow immensely. Yeah, I know. It's a little slow. You're good. Okay. Bom, 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 bom. Oh, the $8. I'm also slow today. $8. Were you talking about this up here? Oh, no. I was actually talking about the $54 that's coming back on the Euro Great British Pound. It's actually Brent crude oil that's causing us the loss there. Rob is worth -10, -17 now. Millions in SA. But that's actually something you forget to work out. Our exchange rate, as you can see down here, at the moment it's not too bad, 17.72. But in general, I normally work it as a 20-1. Normally about 18-1. So, when you work that out, if I have $100, then suddenly it's 1,800 Rand, which is, in South Africa, our pensioners, I get so angry about this, but our pensioners can go and get, I'm not sure of the exact amount. So for anyone out there listening to me, don't get angry with me or for quoting it wrong, but I believe they get about 2,100 or 2,200 Rand a month. So if you bring that back to dollars, what is that? About $120, guys. Just think about that. Living on $120 a month. They can't rent a room. They can't rent a flat. They can't rent a house. They can't, well, if they own one, they can't even pay the electricity or rates and taxes. I mean, the electricity on my house alone, just the electricity, nothing else, just the electricity is around 7,000 Rand a month. So I can't imagine a pensioner living on 2,000 Rand. I mean, how? How do they survive? How do they buy food? I don't want to talk about my food bill, but I mean, that's insane. I go out to a restaurant and I have a meal with my wife and we sit down and we have something to eat and a couple of beers and whatnot. I get a bill for 500-600 Rand. I mean, how on earth can you live on 2,000 Rand a month? It's just not fair. Just so not fair. And that's the government pension for people over 60 that don't have anything. And then those people that do claim it are not allowed to have more than 7,000 Rand in their bank account. Where do they expect these people to live? It's so wrong on so many levels. That's something that irks me. It makes me angry. But yeah, think about that. You know, we don't think about it when we talk in dollars. Dollars, it's easy to talk in dollars. I got $1 million. It's a lot of money, $1 million. You know, and we don't think about that, and we don't think about these poor people. You know, and not just in South Africa. I know there's a lot of countries out there that suffer the same circumstances, and it's just so wrong. Boom, 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 and Brew. You can laugh at the ads, Brewman. Booger Dupe says Tintin and Alien gone. Revolution. Yeah, no. Jap 225 short. You want to go short on the Jap 225? Alrighty, let's have a look. Have a look. I like the Canadian dollar short. That looks decent. Canadian dollar looks short. United States dollar, Canadian dollar. I tell you what, United States dollar, Canadian dollar. Let's take it on the other account. Sorry guys, I'm just going to take this on the other account. There we go. Let's go back to that. You remember that one. Let's take that for the crowd. United States dollar, Canadian dollar. I'm going to take a short on this. And I don't know why this one's got a green candle. Yeah, totally different platform, but it actually doesn't matter. Going to take this anyway. And let's see how it plays out. So we want to sell it. And I think on this one, on a sell, where's the stop loss? Let's put the stop loss at, it's a sell. So we're going to go up. Yeah, gee whiz, 138.7. Look. Okay. Stop loss and take profit. Take profit 135.738. That looks fair. That looks fair. I don't think we should risk that much on this account. Let's make it 0.25. Will it give me that? Yeah, there you go. $238. There you go. Take profit. And yeah, let's sell it on this one. Leave that one in place. Yeah. Okay. Cool. There you go. And then this one's got a trade on the go. Right. So I shall leave that one there. And then I shall go back to this side and have a look at the Jap 225, because someone said the Jap 225 is short. Jap 225. Okay, who said Jap 225 short? Shane. Okay. 4 hour. Are you short on the 4 hour? Because I'm looking at the 4 hour here. And what I'm seeing on the 4 hour is a long trade. Very long trade. It's broken through structure and it's going up. And even if you look at the structure on this side, going up. It's strong upward structure. I'm not seeing the short here. There is a level here. And also, here's another thing, guys. Oh, let me just draw this in for you quickly. Where are you? There. Okay. Prior highs. It's broken past the prior high. It might sit on it, but it looks like it's going to go through it. There's a tail there. So while there could be a short off that level as a kind of a resistance, it looks more like it wants to go long. It looks more like it wants to go up. If I was taking a choice, I would choose to go up, not based on, I know that Shane looks at fib. Boom, 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 boom. You can send me an email, Shane. You can send me an email. We can have a look at it. Send me an email. Let me just get it on the go here. I'm just going to open up Shane's email. Send me an email. Let's have a look at it. Because boom, 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 boom. Okay, sorry, I'm reading an email here. I just got a partner manager at YouTube. Must be doing really well. Okay. I'll have a look at that later. Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Excellent. Okay. And then we shall just get a signal. Boom, boom, boom. We'll just wait for Shane's email and we'll have a look at that. Okay, oh, that's fantastic. I'm actually quite chuffed with that. That's nice. Wow. Okay. I must be becoming important on YouTube, guys. They just gave me a partner manager. Wow, that's really cool. All right. How did I go from being in profit just now to losing $37, about 2 million Rand? Okay, so yeah. Oh yeah, well, we're looking at the Nikkei, weren't we? I was looking at that for going long. Yeah, okay. US dollar CAD, too early for a trade from Eugene. Greetings from Wisconsin, USA. Tim, how's it, man? Long time no see. Lovely to see you, man. Lovely to see you guys. Okay, so you say US dollar CAD too early. Okay. I just took that trade, didn't I? US dollar CAD. Ha! Yeah. Let me just have another look here at US dollar CAD. Okay, that was the jab. US dollar CAD, US dollar CAD. Boom. See, on this charting package, it's fine to take a short because it's actually giving me a red candle already and it's starting to go down. So, yeah, it could be too early to trade. But yeah, it's been going down for such a long time already and it's broken through that level. I'm probably too late on the trade. I probably should have taken the trade up here. But it's okay. It's actually fine. Okay, let's go back to the JAP 225. Why does it do that sometimes? It's kind of strange. Okay. JAP 225. New York opening soon. What's the time? Yeah, most likely. Okay. We shall see that happen. The world moving. Yeah, things are going. Okay. As I say, yep. The secret to day trading success is patience. You're quite right. Eugene seems to have a lot of patience. You're waiting for trades to come to you. That's fantastic. That's the way to do it. Something I've always suffered was to be quite fair is patience. I'm not patient, and I'd like to think I am, but I do often I will often jump the gun on something and just feel like it's going to go that way, so go for it. But in trading on charts, it really doesn't matter that much because in charting, it's 50-50 whichever way you do it. And if it looks like it's going to go that way, go for it. Why would I go long on the JAP 225? Because it looks like it might go that way. Why would I go short on it? Because it might be hitting this level and turning around and coming down. For me, I would have felt that it's going longer. For Shane, he feels like it's going shorter. So that's why we have a market. That's the whole point. Whole point of it. There is no other point to it. Otherwise, why would we have a market? Okay, which one has changed its mind now? No, this is coming all the way back again. You see, that's so irritating. All the money would go back to me. It's now back. Monster. Okay. Oh, we'll leave that going and see what happens. And Brent crude oil has decided to go down the loo again as well. Let's just see what's going on with that. So not great. Okay. US dollar CAD, US dollar CAD, US dollar CAD. Where are you? So any trouble with this platform? I'm always looking for it. Okay. That one looks like it's going to work out. So what else are you guys trading? Anything in particular? Anything of interest? Anything we should know about? Would be interesting to know. But like I say to you guys, the day trader's biggest pitfall is dropping down those time frames and trying to keep yourself busy. One of the other things that you do and is revenge trade. Revenge trading is a big issue. And I equate that and I think about that because what I didn't do here I didn't revenge trade this. All I did was see a new trade. I looked at this big red candle, that red candle, I saw a new trade and I thought, wow, that looks interesting. I'll get into that now. But, you know, some people would get into it just as a simple revenge trade earlier on and it would end up costing them more at the end of the day. So be careful of that. The FOMO, the fear of missing out, getting out of trades too early. So many things that cause you guys problems. Shane, you actually having technical issues? It's normally only me that has technical issues. It should only be me that has the technical issues because I'm on this side of the world. So it's interesting to see that the Euro Great British Pound, as all the buyers have come back in here, which is quite an interesting level. I guess this is going to be an irritating one for now, but we'll leave it. We'll see how it goes. Fantastic. Long S&P 500 trade is a really good one. Actually, like I said, I'm targeting 6,600 on that. And I don't have one on this platform, unfortunately. So, yeah. I've got a long-standing trade going somewhere else, but that's somewhere else entirely. And that one just sits and goes. And gosh, I must have had it from the 5,000s or whatever, but it's a one-to-one thing. It's not a leverage trade. And I just leave it. It's like an investment. And it just keeps on going up. So I'll just leave it. I expect it'll eventually get to 7,000 at some stage. Happy with that. I guess, yeah, there goes the Euro trade down the loo. Now it's gone red. 2 seconds ago, it was nicely in profit. Now imagine if you're trading on the 5-minute charts here. Imagine when you're trading on the 1 minute and the 5-minute charts here, what happens to you? What's going to happen to your trade here? You know, at least with 4-hour trading, I've got all this space and all that space to leverage it, to let it run. So I've got loads of room to let it go. But on a 5-minute trade, this would have been taken out long ago. I mean, imagine that was such a long way down there. That would have been huge on a 5-minute chart. And it would have definitely taken us out and had a laugh. It would have had a laugh for sure. Yeah, now, thanks to that going down and Brent not working out, we're taking a bigger loss than ever. Sometimes you have a bad run, eh? And the last 2 or 3 trades have not been good to me on this account. Last 2 or 3 trades have knocked me back a bit, which is a bit unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Some you win, some you lose. And that's also a trader's downfall, is when you start losing, you start taking bigger trades. Now, one of the big problems I find with traders is the need to make money urgently. And if you expecting to make a couple of $100 a day, maybe a few $100 a week, I don't know, and you lose and you go in the opposite direction, then you tend to start trying to correct that. You tend to start trying make that back as quickly as possible so that you can start making the profits that you really need to pay those bills. And that is a big pitfall for traders. That is where it really goes south. And it starts to work on your emotions, starts to work on your account big time. You got to be really careful of that. You got to be really careful of that sort of trading, because it's a funny thing. You can take 3-4 losses in a row, and things can turn against you rather quickly. And when you look again, you're a few $100 down when you were expecting to make a profit, and then you start desperately trying to get it and trying to claw on and trying to get it back. You start dollar cost averaging your losses and all kinds of strange things, and you end up in a worse position than you ever expected. You've got to be careful of that. Got to be careful of that. Here's my favorite trade, which I'm out on, and I'd actually like to get back in on this when I get a chance. I'm just waiting for it. United States dollar, South African rand. Oh, it needs to pay me off now. That one really needs to pay me off. What's going on with the German DAX, eh? Look at that. Look at that move. Insane. I guess that's what's happening with the Euro Great British Pound. But that's quite a move. That really is a big candle on a 4-hour chart. That's massive. Look at that on a 5-minute chart and see what it looks like. Look at that big red fall, bounce off the support, and big bounce back to the upside. The DAX is really moving around. It's really moving around. And with inside this range as well. Moving around a lot. But it rejects every time it gets here. So you don't want to be long right now because it's probably going to reject again. There's a lot of rejection points. US 500 is interesting. I wonder if it's going to... Let's see if it breaks through that 64.40 level. Gives us new highs and goes up. That'll be interesting to see. That'll be interesting to see. I don't think this trend is valid anymore. That can go. It broke through that and it went down. So that's fine. You can dump that and you can just have a look at this range that it's in at the moment and see what it will do there. But 64.40, I think, is quite an important level. If it breaks through that, we'll have an interesting move to the upside. And I do see that the US market is very, very bullish. It does look very, very bullish in general. So I think we might get quite an interesting move there. I've got to keep refreshing these charts to see these amounts because they don't, for some other odd reason, these charts don't refresh themselves here. Okay, that's fine. But I just use these so that people can see them because somebody complained about the other charts that it's difficult to see. So we've still got the other ones. We took the trade on it just now. And it's another lovely Thursday. Gotta love your Thursdays. Big thing about charts, guys, is charts cannot predict the market. I keep telling you guys this. Charts cannot predict the market. They're lacquer to look at. They're fun to have. It's lovely to have all the monitors and look at charts and what have you and take trades on charts and choose trades on charts. And yeah, say it's looking down, it's looking up, looking this way, looking that way. We can take a trade, not take a trade, whatever the case. But all a chart can do is allow you to take the trade, position the trade, and manage the risk and give you that high probability. That's all it can do. It can't predict the future. It can't predict which way the market's going to go. And the markets will always be 50-50. They'll always be 50-50, and that's not going to change anytime soon. Always going to be the difficulty of trading. And That's never going to change. I'm testing selling half when it reaches resistance and add when it pulls back on retest or bouncing on an upward trend line. I'll sell the rest if it fails to continue the trend. Okay, I get you, Tywell. You're looking at if you're long. Okay, so let's say you're long on the S&P 500. So what you're going to do is you're going to sell half when it reaches that resistance point. And then, okay, so why don't you do this? This way, you're not out of it, okay? Why don't you put a stop loss right behind the resistance point when it gets there, because you're in profit, but a stop loss for half the amount, because you can do that. You can adjust an order to sell half the amount. So you want to get out of half your trade because you've reached that point, but you don't want to get out of the whole trade in case it pushes on through. So bring your stop loss up right up to the level behind it. Make it a half stop loss. You can still have another half further down if you want to. Make it a half stop loss. Then if it comes back and takes it out, you take out half the trade. But if it doesn't and it goes north, you go north with a full trade. And then you can trail that half stop loss up behind it. And then you only lose the half amount when it decides to actually turn around and come back. But yeah, that might be a better option for you because you can put a 50% stop loss in. You don't have to put 100% stop loss in. You can say, I want to sell, let's say you got 2 lots. You can say, I want to sell 1 lot and put it behind it. And you can put your order in there and just move it behind it. There's no problem with that. And if it comes back and takes it out, then you only lose that half. And if it doesn't come back and take it out, then guess what? It keeps on going north and you make more money. Just a thought. I mean, it's not really relevant as much. I mean, if you want to test it out, but it's just another way of testing it, another way of looking at it. You can do that as well. You can also do that scenario. Because I've done these selling half things in the past, many a time at different levels and things like that. I don't think I used resistance level. I maybe used targets. When it reaches targets, sell half. I used to do that. And because then I felt like, yeah, okay, I've made profit and I'm pretty clean here because I'm already at target. So I'll take half my profits and leave the rest behind. And I just, over the years, learned that if you just put the trailing stop behind it, then if it keeps going north, you don't lose anything. You don't feel like you got left out. You don't feel like you've lost any profits. It works. It works better that way. If you want to do it that way, it's totally, obviously it's lacquer to sell it and put it in the bank. It's nice to see it when it's in the bank, when it's in there. I've got the profit, but you'll get it anyway if you put a trailing behind it. So there's that. This German DAX would be another example of that. For example, if you were long here and then it gets all the way up here, instead of selling half, to put the trailing stop for half up behind it. And then if it comes back, it takes it out. If it breaks out and breaks to the upside, you get the full profit, which is probably better in the long run. It'll work out better in the long run, let's say. For those of you who like that idea, go for it. And for those of you who think you're the only one that loses in the market or wins in the market, you're not. Just remember that actually 70% of leverage traders lose in the market. And that only leaves 30% to win, which means you've got to be in the top 30%. And that ain't easy, yeah. That ain't easy. It takes years. Yeah, give it a try, Tywell. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how it works out for you. But it is an option. It's a good option to have because like I say, that way, if it does keep going north, if it's moving hard, then you don't lose anything. Otherwise, it'll just come back and take out that half anyway, and then go up, and so be it. But you get what I say. Actually, that can actually work quite well for you. Actually do something nice for you. Where's gold going now? Is it going up or is it going down? It's going up. It's going down. It's going up. It's going down. It's been very bullish up to this point, but it's been in a range for a really long time. Now we can debate the range. I mean, we can move this line around a bit. And wait a minute. You know, if you look at that, that range is actually up there. The range is a little bit higher on this. Just looking at that. So which means that hasn't broken through yet. And it's pretty much at the level. I think what we can actually do with gold as far as that range goes, we can actually go and draw some proper blockies in here. Let's see what it looks like. Let's get a better picture on gold. Because gold is, yeah, you see. Drawing these quick pictures in can actually confuse the issue slightly. I'm just going to draw that in. And let's draw the bottom one in as well, because that's way, way, way above that line there, which is an early resistance level. And then we've also got the bottom one. I'm just going to put that one in as well. Because that's also, well, that one is right on the resistance that we drew in earlier. Just put it in properly and let's go and have a proper look at it, because sometimes these things can catch you out. Yeah, now look at that. That picture is slightly different now. You see? This is drawn in on the 4 hour, so that's a short-term resistance. But the longer-term resistance is much higher up. It's up here at the 34.40. And, okay, the support's in the right place. The support's good. That's interesting. So this guy could still have quite a run all the way up to 34.40. But there is a short-term resistance here at 3400 on gold, and gold is bullish. So I think gold is still bullish. It's still got some place to run. Still got some place to go. See, sometimes it's better to go to basics and do let's go to the day and just see what we've got here before we get excited and do the wrong thing. But yeah, it does look like gold has got a little bit of space to go. Let's Brent crude oil. Brent crude I'm a bit different on. Now I'm just waiting for it to get up and start breaking through the trend and go the other way. Not too worried about that one. Okay. Yeah, Shane, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Gold is going to go up a little bit more and then drop. And then, okay, so we took the United States dollar, Canadian dollar on the other platform, and we're talking about JAP 225. Did you actually go short on the JAP 225, Shane? Is that one going short? Let me just have a look here. And just see, JAP 225. Still looks long to me. It still looks like it wants to go long. There is a bit of a red dot there, but it still does look like it wants to go long. I'm not convinced it's going to go short just yet. Oh, it's done it to me again. This guy's trying to drive me nuts. Okay. Not yet on Japan 225. Okay. Yeah, no, that's why I say JAP 225 still looks a little bit like iffy. Looks like it wants to go up. How's the Euro British pound one doing now? Is it? It's messing me up. It's going the other way. Can you believe that? It had such a strong run down, and then it's turned around and gone against us now again. Okay. Interesting. But we'll see what happens here, because, you know, that's the whole point of trading, guys, is you've got to You take a position, you put it in place, and then you see how it goes. Now, for me, this position we're in, we've taken the trade because it's broken to the downside and it's headed to the downside. Now, for me, I'm kind of the opinion that I'm only worried if it breaks back through that level and goes back to the upside again. For the time being, perfectly happy that it's going down, going back to the downside. So we'll leave that candle and see what happens. There's a long way to go before it actually fails. The trade has not failed yet. Although it is $16 now. You got to look at trades for what they are sometimes and what they're about. And if they go the other way, then you know they've gone the other way. This United States dollar, Canadian dollar is actually easier than most. Because for me, if that one breaks to the upside and gives me an upward run above that trend resistance, and you can get out quite quickly. You don't have to wait for the stop loss all the way up here. You can actually get out quite quickly. But if it goes down, it goes down. The trend trade is actually a lot easier than the breakout. The breakouts are more difficult because the breakouts, you've got to wait for quite a distance before they actually show you they've failed. For example, this has got a long way to go before it's actually failed. So you hold on to it. Brent crude oil, on the other hand, is more fundamental for me. I still think that it will go, and I should have actually waited on this for it to break through there, but I didn't. But that said, I'm perfectly happy to hold it here. There is another level here. Look at that big level down there that it seems to be holding on to, and it looks like it will go up from there. So that's okay. Brent crude oil is okay. I'm not using volume, Shane. I'm not using volume at the moment. You can use volume, but you can really... I don't trade with volume. If you put volume on, just use it to confirm that the move is genuine. Like that it's a real move. It's worth something to you. Because some of these moves are just fake. And there's no volume behind them. And that can be an issue. So, for example, where I should have had volume on was on this trade with this long candle. Let's see if we can add volume on here. Just put volume in here, just for a quickie. And you can see here on that candle, there was a lot of volume. So there was plenty of volume on that candle. There was also plenty of volume on that candle. The trick here, though, is it wasn't as much volume as over here. So this was a much more genuine move than that. But that is a lot of volume. And that volume is telling me that that candle is not completely fake, not completely... That was real money that moved. So it is a decent amount of volume. It is strong on the candle. So you can look at that and say, well, that might actually be a decent trade. Okay. Should have looked at it earlier. But yeah, that's how you use volume just to confirm that the trade is good. I mean, if you get like a huge move like that and no volume, then there's something fishy. And or if you get huge volume and no movement, then you know that it's a strong direction. Well, that looks okay. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. But the range breakout, the breakouts are very important, Shane. You know, if it breaks out of range or it breaks out of trend, those are the best trades you can have. That's what I always call the counter trade, because you know we trade the three ways. We trade with the trend, we trade in a range, but then we trade breakouts, which is counter trading. And breakouts can either be in the range or they can be in the trend. And trend counter trading is actually better in many events, in many cases. So, for example, that one where there it's going up and it comes down, it breaks through that trend support. So that's the trend broken to the downside, and it's going down. You know, you can draw these triangles in as well and have it breaking out of those little triangles and that sort of thing. But you know, the best trades are the ones that break or counter trade or counter through a trend support or a trend resistance. That's countered. That's broken through a trend support. So that's a range break. Well, it's a trend breakout. Okay, that's a counter trend. And then also, if it breaks through a range, when it's in a range and it breaks out of that range, then that's also a breakout trade. Or if it goes past the prior high, also a breakout. So breakouts are actually very, very strong trades. Breakouts are good trades. Look for breakouts. Breakouts are good. Range breakouts, trend breakouts. It's different names for different things. You don't have to learn all the terminology in trading. Just know what to do. That's all. It's more important to make money than to learn all the terminologies, by the way. So don't worry about all the abbreviations and terminologies. They're not that important. A lot of people play a lot of importance into that, and it really isn't that important. Okay. Geez, how many ads do you guys get? I mean, I should actually contact YouTube and ask them where my revenue is, because really, the amount of ads Shane's getting, I should be making millions. Which is what, $8, isn't it? Freeman, was it $8? Just saying, guys, just saying, you know? Yeah. I should be getting paid a fortune the amount of ads Shane gets. And now Bruman doesn't get any ads. I'll just get a share of his premium account payment every month. That's fine. Yeah, no, it's great. See, being a trader, you always want to make money somewhere, don't you? That's what we're about. Business. Yeah, totally. You see, Tyrell got an ad too, so really, I should be getting paid more, yeah. What a pay rise, man. Ah, just kidding. That's fine. Trend line correlation on US dollar rand. US dollar rand? Boom, boom. Oh, here we are. Trying to confuse you guys with trend lines. Look at all the trend lines I drew in here. But here you go again. You see I drew trend line in here, and it broke through the trend support and it went to the downside. So that's short, right? Now we're waiting for it. Why have I drawn that line in there? Because I'm waiting for it to break to the upside and actually counter trend for me and go up, because you know that I only want a long trade on this. You guys know that. And I don't like shorting United States dollar / African rand. I want to long trade it. I'm waiting for a really good opportunity. And I believe definitely here at the 1750, there's going to be an excellent opportunity if it gets that far. But if it doesn't, I'm just waiting for it to break through that to the upside and I'm long again. Favorite trade, definitely, because fundamentally, I believe the rand should be weak. And fundamentally, that means I need a long trade on this. You see, that's another way to pick your trades, guys. You don't always have to just be on the charts. Fundamentally, you can understand how things are working in a certain area or a certain place. So, for example, I understand that the South African rand genuinely should be weak. So what I'm doing is I'm weighting my trades to that side. So I want long trades on this United States dollar against the South African rand. I'm weighting on that. I'm putting my weight on that, as well as Brent crude oil. That's the way I feel about Brent crude oil. Because I've been trading for so many years, I know that Brent crude oil likes to trade between 65 and 120. So when it's at 68, 67, 64, I want to buy it. And I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell it at this level, because the possibility of it getting down to 50 is of a much lower percentage than the possibility of it getting up to 80. So I'm looking at my odds here, and my odds are stronger if I'm going long on Brent crude oil than if I'm going short at these levels. So it's not a supermarket mentality as such. What it is I will take my trade to the long side based on knowledge that's, when I look at the price, I've got better odds of it making me money when it goes to the long side. So when you're picking your trades, pick them that way as well. You don't have to only look at the charts. Look, when you're looking at charts, obviously, if you go to the weekly and you go to the monthly and you go to the daily and you see they're all bullish, then on the 4 hour and 1 hour and whatever you're trading, it's a good idea to take your trades according to the way the market is going. So if it's bullish on the higher time frames, perhaps look for long trades on the lower time frames, not short trades. So for example, if you're a 5-minute trader, and the higher time frames are telling you that the market's bullish, don't go short on the 5-minute. Wait for a long trade and take the long trades and go with the flow, because the strength of the flow is to the upside. Look at your trades that way. Get your trading right. Go with the market. Go the way the market is going. Don't go against the market. Don't go against the waves. Stay with the waves and take the flow to the upside. It's the better way to trade. Upward trend line, delete as price has broken through. Now the upward trend line, you see, let me just put that in there. You could delete this upward trend line because it's broken through. Totally, I agree with you, and that is the point. Actually, I should delete it. Don't know why it's still there. So yeah, that's fine. You can delete that. It's already broken through, and then you only have this trend line to worry about. You're quite correct on that. It was one of the other trades that I left it in. Oh yes, the reason I left it in on this one is because if my trade fails, I'm gonna fail it at around this area if it breaks back through there. That's the only reason I left that one in. Normally I would take it out as well, because it's also broken through there quite cleanly and done its job. But I've left it there just for a little bit of confirmation. Actually, we don't need it there. We can actually take it out as well. It's just in the way. I'll see if it goes pear-shaped. You can also use the main resistance levels as well. But Shane, yeah, you're right. It's delete. Yeah, delete as many as you can, because you don't need them there. They're just a total pain if they're in there. The less you can have, the better. Then it doesn't confuse the issue too much at the end of the day. Because otherwise you start confusing yourself. Man, you can confuse the hell out of yourself. And just remember, assumption is the mother of all evil. When you assume something's going to happen and you honestly believe that can't go wrong, assumption is the mother of all evil. It'll come back and it'll bite you. Don't assume things. Try and keep an open mind. Try and think out of the box and try and stay clear. Assumption is a big issue. People assume things are going to happen because, we all believe we're right. And, this is one thing in psychology that is interesting. Now, I'm not a psychologist, guys, and I shouldn't even be touting this, but oddly enough, my daughter is, and she knows a lot about this stuff. But one of the big things in psychology is this, and that is, we all believe we're right. But if you and I get into a discussion or an argument or anything like that, we're both going to believe we're right. And by definition, if you're right, I must be wrong. But there's three answers or three ways to get an answer out of anything. There's your opinion, there's my opinion, and there's the right opinion. So at the end of the day, we're probably both wrong, and there's the right way. But that's why we make markets. That's why we have markets. The psychology of it is we all believe we're right. One of us is going to be wrong. By definition, one of us is going to be wrong, and one of us is going to be right. That's just how it is. And it's a funny thing, but that's how human beings are. When somebody gets into an argument or a fight, that's why we have these big world wars, is because politicians get into a little Barney, and that being a little fight, and they start arguing, and they all believe they're right, and they all believe that they've got these big emotions and whatnot, and egos to scratch and what have you, and then you end up with these problems. start getting into a boxing match for no reason at all, and then the S&P 500 goes diving down into the doldrums. All gone. Yep, that's how it goes. Yeah, no. No, Shane, you're actually right. Said, sorry, I'm still learning. Nah, you're actually right. Yeah, I should actually dump the dump those lines totally. You don't need them there. Yeah, just put the new lines in. Sometimes I just forget to take them out. Sometimes I leave them there because I needed to remember something or why I did something or whatever the case, and it just gives me a bit of it's like a little notepad, little notebook. It sort of reminds me, oh, you did that because it actually broke that line or whatever the case. Sometimes you might want to leave things in place so that you can actually remember what you did. Other times it's just going to get in your way and annoy you, so it's better to take these things out. I tell you what, the worst charts to look at are the ones with all the lines on. Goodness me, that is another pitfall of traders. I've seen traders where their screen is just a mishmash of indicators and lines that just don't make any sense whatsoever. And I'm looking at it, and the guy says, I'm taking this trade because the moon moved to the left and the green cheese came out, and I drank a Coke, and then this happened and that happened, and they offered me this, and I moved this, and I moved that, and then I'm taking this long trade. And I'll look at it sort of mind-boggled, like, where's the actual chart on there? Because all I see is all these lines and stuff. Crazy, man. Some guys really, really trade with a lot of indicators and a lot of lines on the chart. It might be you, I don't know. And what I also find is if I do have a trade going like here, you got this trade going, and at the bottom you've got stochastic, RSI, MACD, volume. I mean, half the chart's taken up by that. And I look at that and think, dude, just choose one. If you want to have something at the bottom, just choose one, because they're all the same. If you wanna use the crossovers from MACD, then have the MACD. If you just want to know overbought, oversold, have the RSI. If you want to know volume, have volume. But don't have 20 things at the bottom of your chart. It's just going to take up your whole chart. You'll notice I hardly ever have anything at the bottom of my chart. I don't use that stuff. And if I was going to use anything, I'll use the RSI, because the RSI is useful. It tells me when things are overbought, oversold. I'll use that. Sometimes I'll look at a volume, but you know what? I'll take it off immediately. I don't want to leave it there. It's in my way. It's really in my way. I don't like having it there because it takes up space. And like these charts actually came with volume. And I actually had to go and sit and take it all out, in the beginning, because it was there. It was just in the way. I don't know. It's just me. And then, then on the screen itself, then you've got all these things at the bottom. You've got these 4 or 5 different things lying at the bottom. So you've got half a chart left at the top here. You just got this little bit at the top here. And then you go and add 20 moving averages in. You put the 9-day, the 20-day, the 50-day, the 200-day, the, 40-day, the 100-day. So you got all these different color lines running through it and moving averages, right? You're like, ooh, where's that? And then you start drawing a million lines in all the way down. Support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. You got like support and resistances to go to heaven with. I don't know. They're like all over the place, these support and resistances. You got all those lines going all the way up the chart. And then that's not enough for you. You add Ichimoku, or you add some other system, or the ATR. Guys, it's a chart. It's not going to make you money. It's not going to predict the future. Charts don't predict the future. They never do. They just give you the ability to take a trade and to manage your risk. They can't do anything else for you. They cannot predict anything. And once you realize that and you get that aha moment, then you'll dump all this rubbish at the bottom, and you'll also dump all the rubbish in here. I draw these lines in because they're lines in the sand. They tell me where I can put my risk. They tell me where I can take my profit. They tell me where price might run, might not run. No guarantees. It just gives me an idea or a way that my brain can compute. I think I want to go short here. I think I want to go long here. Let me put a stop loss in over there because that looks like a good level. That's what you use charts for. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't even use charts. I'd just take trades whichever way. One of our subscribers, one of the guys on the channel, actually said to me that what he does now is he lets his dog bark, and his dog barks for so many times for a long, or dog barks and at a trade for a short. Other ones said he flips a coin to see which way he's going to go, but they use our strategy once they've taken the trade, and that makes them money. So in other words, they literally flip a coin to see which way they're going to trade, and then they use our strategy to trade with. The strategy is what makes them the money, and they're making a profit. And I look at that and I think they're actually doing quite well without even using a system. They're just using the strategy. So in other words, you actually don't even need the system. You just need the strategy. The reason I like having a system is because I can actually see the line. I can actually see the line of where the stop loss is. I can actually also get out earlier if it looks like it's going pear-shaped. And I can actually see the line where it's going into profit. I can move my stop losses with it and that sort of thing. So that, that actually helps in a trade. If you can see which way it's going, if you can see how it's moving and its trajectory, it's nice to be able to look at a candle and see that it's red, see that it's green, see how long it is, how short it is, and the kind of movement that it's got, the tails, all that sort of stuff. It just gives you an idea of what traders are doing, because behind all of these candles, inside all of these candles, is a whole bunch of human beings and money that's trading, that's buying and selling on a regular basis, not just like quickly or shortly. It's like big time. And there's a lot of money in there, and that's what's moving the markets. Now, if you look at that candle, it tells you a story, because it's very easy to look at a candle like this as a human being and say, okay, there's human beings doing something here. What are they doing? They're selling everything that they bought. Now, here's the wall of worry. The candle, all short little candles, that wall of worry, buying. That took forever to get up there, a couple of days getting up there. And then it all comes down in 4 hours. It all comes down in one candle. That tells you a story. That tells you there's some heavy selling going on in there. And there's a reason for that. There's got to be a reason behind that selling. Because if it takes a couple of days to get up there, and it takes 4 hours to get it back down, that just tells you that there was an insane amount of selling, and there's very strong reasoning behind that. And you can take that to the bank and say, well, that is a strong downward movement. That's what charts are for. So now you're looking at that big red candle, and it's just told you a whole story. You look at a big green candle, it tells you a whole story. It tells you, well, these guys that sold this, the people behind those sales, couldn't have been idiots, because it's the money in the market, which makes up most of the market. 95% of the market is the money and the pro traders. So they couldn't have been idiots that made those sells. They must have been intelligent people selling. Why did they all sell? They must have had a really, really good reason, and that's what we use the charts for. Now you look at that and say, oh, they're selling, which means they're selling. So even when this candle starts to go green, as it did a little bit earlier, you look at it and think, yeah, but they were selling. They must have had a good reason. Why would it just suddenly go back immediately? There's selling pressure. Big selling pressure. These candles tell a story. They always do. And it's important for you to think about that when you're looking at a chart. It's not, charts don't make you money. How many times have I got to say this? Charts don't predict the future. Charts don't know which way the markets are going to go. But what they can do is help you to understand and manage that trade, to see where things are going. So, you can look at your trade and say, oh, what's going to happen here? No big candles here. There's a big candle that came down, and that actually told a big story. And before that happened, the market in the news was trying to convince you that this is going to 150. The market in the news was trying to tell everybody that oil was going to $150. And the very next moment, it did that. And that was a big story. Those guys knew what was going on. They pushed this down. And since that's happened, it's actually stayed down. It hasn't really gone. It tried to get back up here. Wall of worry, straight back down again. It's holding on. I'm of the opinion after it bounces off the support that it'll go up. That's my 50-50 opinion of it. And that's that. I'm waiting for the United States dollar, South African rand. I'm waiting for a nice buy level on this. And when will I get it? Well, it hasn't come down fast, and it's coming down as slow as it went up. But when it breaks through that trend resistance and goes back up, I'll look at it. I'll look at it for a long trade and see where we're going with it. S&P 500, S&P 500, easy one. Easy one. It's very close to a resistance level. It's bounced all the way up here. If you were in from the lower levels, that's great. Hold on to it and put a trailing stop on it. But I wouldn't buy it now, and I wouldn't sell it now either, because selling it now would be just absolutely ridiculous. If you do want to sell it, you've got to wait for it to break through that trend support. That trend support is holding on to it. Now, don't be afraid to use a trend support within your range. There's your range, but don't be afraid to use a trend in your range. It's nothing wrong with that. If it comes down, it breaks through that trend in the range, then it's going down the other way, going short back down to the support. But if it keeps on going up and it breaks through that resistance, it breaks past the prior high, you've got a breakout. You've got a serious breakout, and breakouts are immense, immense. A breakout on a 4-hour is immense. On a day is immense. It's huge. You get a breakout here, you buy it, because it's going to go hard. And it's going to go quite high. You just got to watch out for where it turns. That's all. Just put your trailing stop up behind it and you'll be fine. That's how we look for these trades. I hope you guys have all liked and enjoyed liking the channel. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Get on board, man. Get on board. I'm waiting for that 20,000 subscriber mark now. We've gone through the 16,000. It's like a landmark. It's a bit of fun, you know? A bit of fun. Landmarking them. Come on, guys. Get me to 100,000 subscribers so I can get one of those little placards that the guys get. Put it behind me here for you. Yeah, that'll be the biggest achievement ever. Get a little YouTube thing and put it there. Love that. Love that. It's great. Jewel. Hi, Stanley. Welcome. Good to have you. Don't know you, but welcome. It's good to have you on board. Join the team. Have a bit of fun with us. Chat amongst ourselves. We have a lot of fun here. Great stuff. It's so nice to have new people on board as well that come on board and start listening to our stories and whatnot and what we talk about. Sometimes I go off track completely and I start talking about strange things. But normally I talk about trading and I show people a little bit about trading, and I mislead you down the path of all the mistakes that I've made, and that you can make the same mistakes. Yeah, I try to keep it as entertaining as possible. I try not to be boring. Yeah, as long as you remember, charts cannot predict the market. So we just went over charts cannot predict the market for the last, I don't know, 10 minutes. But yeah, a lot of people still don't get it. A lot of people still don't understand that the market's 50-50. A lot of people don't figure that out. And thus they never get to the strategy. They never get to the strategy. You know, I really laughed when the one chap actually turned around and said that he uses his dog to choose the trade with his bark and then uses our strategy to make the money because the chart's meaningless. He just lets the dog bark, or he tosses a coin and he chooses a trade. That's brilliant. I love that. I actually love that. I'm looking forward to it, Stanley. It's good to have you on board. And Rob, what fundamental sites do you use? And this is a question that we've been through a few times, but you know what? I find that if I just look at Yahoo News, I'm quite happy with that, but there's lots of things that you can use. Bloomberg, all these different types of things, and you can get a lot of information off of them. But what you've got to be really careful is getting hooked up into that news and them sucking you into their their stories, because like if you watch Bloomberg and then you watch gosh, I can't remember the blue one. Anyway, you two different news channels, right? You'd be surprised how they suck you into a different level of thinking sometimes with the economies and what have you. But it's not, that's not what changes markets, and this is where you've got to get experience with this. Because if you hang your hat on the news and you're waiting for those job figures, waiting for that CPI, and you're listening to those guys or reading their stories or whatever it might be, and they're telling you that this has happened and that's happened, and because of this, as a result of that, and you get hooked up in that, and you take your trades based on that, you can end up getting yourself into a right old mess and confused. Like you cannot believe, so confused. Sometimes, I mean, there was points in my career where I would see the fundamentals coming out, and I would be like, okay, so it's going to go long now, and I'd take the trade and it goes short, and I'd be shocked and stunned on what's going on here. Clearly, the experts knew much more than I did. You get sucked into certain news channels, and they suck you along in a different way because they've got different politics, different ways of thinking, and whatnot. What you have to understand about all trades, whether it be shares, indexes, Forex, whatever, okay, is there is a fundamental thing that you don't read, see, or listen to. And that is the market is moved by the money and the reserves in the country. Okay? So the country has its asset value. The country has things to pay for. Money moves around in the countries. And that's what causes movement in the markets. It's kind of like a balance that they keep. But like when you're buying a company, it's got value based on its assets and its future earnings. And a country is very much the same. So when you're listening to these short-term news events, they can confuse the living daylights out of you. So you don't want to get confused. So what I do is I just keep my ear to the ground and I listen out for anything interesting that might be happening. And then you have to adapt around that. So we can now, if we go and have a look at, I think this will be, let me just see if that's the news. Yeah. Okay. So here's Yahoo, for example. This is obviously not a video. Oh, there is videos here, obviously, from Yahoo as well. You get Bloomberg. Bloomberg's a nice package as well. And then you also get a number of others. But if you look at these things, Apple gains after announcing 100 billion US investment. You can read into that. You can read into that. You don't have to read into it black and white. You can look at it and think, gray area here. It looks like Apple's going to do pretty well. Medicare Advantage plans are scaling back. What does that tell you? Medical stocks might be a little bit tricky. Trump plans 100% tariff on semiconductors. Now you start thinking, what's a semiconductor? What does it consist of? Do you trade copper? Has it got anything to do with that? You know, start thinking about these things in a different way. Start looking at fundamentals in a different way. You don't have to know all about fundamentals immediately, as long as you're following the charts, because the charts have got the human beings behind them. And if you know how to follow the charts, you can actually use those charts to depict which way people are thinking the market's going to go. But short-term news is not going to help you. Short-term news is only going to confuse you. What you need is a wider picture, a bigger picture of the news. If something's happening in the market, think of it in a bigger, out-of-the-box picture. And then you get a better picture of what might be happening in the world. And, you know, you've got to keep your ear to the ground on things that big events in the world. If, for example, banks are going down, if they announce tomorrow that we're going to do away with cash and only have a digital currency, all these different types of things that might affect markets might also play into your psyche. But keep an eye on that. And then also, as I told you earlier, on the fundamental side, for example, one of the fundamentals I look at when trading is, for example, I understand that the United States dollar, South African rand should be long, because the South African rand should be weak, because ear to the ground, I heard that South Africa gets 30% tariffs from America, which is bad for us because we're already in trouble. We don't have enough tax money. The country's already bankrupt because of a number of reasons and badly run and all the rest of it. So I know that the rand should be getting worse, but it's strong at the moment. So effectively, overall, I'm looking at the fundamental picture here of first chance I get to go long here, I'm taking that chance. Because I know that the country's struggling with a number of things, as well as the fact that they've stopped lending us money, stopped sending money over to South Africa from the USA, and so on and so on. So fundamentally, that's how I look at the picture on the United States dollar, South African rand. So just keep your ear to the ground on things like that. For example, if they were to turn around tomorrow and say, oh no, we're not going to tariff South Africa, we're going to lend them $500 billion and everything's going to go hunky-dory. Ooh, different picture altogether. That switches everything around. That's how you look at fundamentals, but you've got to learn that over time. This is not something you're going to pick up just like that. You start getting a feeling for things as you go through time in the market. Like I said to you earlier with the Brent crude oil, I have knowledge of the fact that over many years, it's always traded when it's around 60. I don't want to be short because I know that between 60 and 120 is where Brent likes to be. So for me, if it's at 60, I'm not happy shorting it. I'd rather be going long. If it's at 100, I'm not going long. I'd rather be going short. That's how I look at it, and that's how I picture it. I know, for example, that commodities are cyclical. They go up and they go down. They don't go up in one direction. So I know from that effectively we're going to have a different picture on that scenario. See how this is going back again. Obviously bouncing around a lot, and then it's that time of the day. Oh yes, it's that time of the day. Things will move around a lot at this time of the day. Chris, how's it, Chris? New subscriber. Do you think the 4-hour trend lines are stronger than the 1 hour, or is it more on the time frame you're trading on? Chris, what you've got to understand about the time frames is the higher you go with the time frame. So if you start on the day, that's your weekly is your strongest level. Then you've got your day. You can go monthly as well, even stronger. But the higher you go, the stronger the information you've got. Because you've got to remember, for example, if you are on the 4-hour chart, everything that's in that candle is for 4 hours. If you're on the day chart, everything that's in that candle is for a day. So the higher you go, the stronger your information. So what I normally say is if you're trading on the 1 hour, if you're trading on the 4 hour, and you put a line in place for that time frame, then that line is valid. Now, what I would do is I will sometimes go to the day and I'll take levels like this. This is daily levels. Those pink or purple blocks are daily levels. And so now I know what my daily level looks like. And then these lines are from my 4-hour levels that I'm trading on. Sometimes they have confluence, sometimes not. But if you've got, for example, on a day chart or a weekly chart, it's bullish. On the day chart, it's bullish. On the 4-hour chart, it's bullish. And then you're trading on the day chart, and the day chart shows you it's bearish. Don't short. Wait for the long trade, because all the time frames above you told you it's bullish. So wait for the 1 hour or the half an hour one that you're trading on, or 15-minute. Wait for that to turn bullish and go bullish with it, because all the time frames above you are bullish. So in that sense, the higher the time frame above you, the more reliable the information. So you can get more reliable information from the time frames above you. The lower you go, the less reliable the information becomes. But you still have to use those indicators to give you the idea of where you're going. So I hope that answers your question somewhat. But yeah, obviously a 4-hour trend line is going to be more powerful than a 1-hour trend line. Same as a day level is far more powerful than a 4-hour level. But the 4-hour level is still valid. The 1-hour level is still valid. They'll always be still valid. End of the day. And Michael asked, do you live in South Africa? I live in Cape Town, Michael. I live in Cape Town by the beach on the west coast. In a lovely home. I have a lovely life. I'm very blessed. I'm very happy and very fortunate. Some of us are not so fortunate in life. and I appreciate what I have. So it's a nice life. It's not bad. And I never thought I'd live by the beach when I was much younger. I used to live inland, and I've been here a long time now, and I won't change it for the world. I've had offers to live in other parts of the world, and quite frankly, for me, this is the best place. So I just love it here. It's home as well, So yeah, home is where the heart is. Eh? Yeah, it's one of the best cities in the world. Absolutely wonderful. Everybody says Cape Town's got the worst crime. Actually doesn't. Actually North does. Pretoria, Joburg, all those places up north in South Africa. There you got to watch yourself, make sure you don't get mugged or whatever the case. But yeah, it's lucky. No problem in Cape Town. There's a few problems in ganglands and things like that, but that's the same as any country. If you go into a dodgy gangland area, you're looking for trouble, aren't you? Stay away from there. I've lived in a few places. Pretoria, Joburg, Midrand. Then, of course, there's Durban. And yeah, and for the last more than a decade, Cape Town. Yeah. Yeah, I hope the explanations are good for you guys. I'm in the UK. My mum lived for 20 years outside of Durban, but had some trouble and had to move back to the UK. That's a shame that she had some trouble. I used to love Durban. Such a nice place. Belito is my spot. And but yeah, it became a little bit, I don't know, it just felt unsafe. It didn't feel good. It's hot there, it's humid, but it's nice. I just gave up on it and ended up here. Cape Town's for me much nicer in all respects with the people, and the people up there weren't too bad as well, but I felt safer down here. Yeah, and I love it down here, and the temperatures are good. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I moved out of Pretoria, Blue Mango. I stayed there, and it used to be a beautiful city in the old days, a really beautiful city. I mean, it was probably the best in the country. It was the capital city as well. No disrespect, Blue Mango, but it is a shithole now. Yeah, it's really bad now. I drove up there the other day, and my daughter was in the car with me, and she said, "Where are we?" Yeah, that's terrible. But yeah, when I lived there, I got broken into 5 times. Okay. Twice while I was in the house sleeping, but luckily for me, I had weapons and I used to lock the door and all that. And I had beams all around. I had a fortress, beams all around the house and electric fences, all that. They still found their way in. And I gave up on Pretoria with that. And then also they tried to hijack me no less than 3 times. They didn't get it right. So I just, yeah, for me, it was, my family wasn't safe. So I got out of there many years ago. Many years ago. That was a long time ago, and it's worse now. It's much worse now. In fact, we went to fetch my wife's parents there about 6 years ago, I think. We went to fetch them and said to them, that's it, sell up, come down, and we've got a home for them here with us. And I can tell you, it was, I landed there and I was driving around and I thought, this is insane. It was ridiculous how bad it looked. And we moved them away, moved them down here for safety's sake as well. But yeah, I agree with you, Blue Mango. When I was up there, like I say, I got hit 5 times in the house. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Insanity of it is just too much. And before I left there, I moved into an estate in a very posh area, and they had this huge wall in front of my house, massive wall. I don't know, 10 foot high with electric fence on top of it and everything. It was a beautiful estate. We had the gym, we had squash courts, we had pools, and oh man, just it was beautiful. And I was standing on my balcony and I was looking over the wall and I watched someone getting hijacked and mugged and beaten up in their car. So I immediately I phoned the police because I couldn't get to them because, I mean, there was this huge wall in front of me. And for me to get to them, the estate was so big, it would take a couple of Ks for me to even get out in the car to go through the main gate and come around to that spot. And I was watching these people and I phoned the police and all they could tell me was calm down. And I was like, but the people are getting like hurt in front of me and they just ignored me. Nobody came out. The crime happened and nobody came out. Nobody even came and asked me what happened. Nothing. That was it. And that for me was also the end for me. I was like, I'm selling up here and I'm out of here. I'm not staying in Pretoria ever. That was a long time ago. A long time ago. So Blue Mango, I'm with you on that one. If you ever want to move to a great place, let me tell you something. Cape Town's like a different world. Here it's like Europe. It's so nice here. Everything works. The city, you can actually walk around in the city. You can let your wife walk around in the city, and guess what? Nothing will happen to her. It's insane. Okay, it's incredibly nice here, incredibly safe. All the roads are fixed. All the traffic lights work. We actually have a police force. Just not to make you feel bad, but dude. If you ever get the chance to move. And, for a person like me, I can live anywhere. I can live anywhere in the world, as you know. I'm a trader. I can live anywhere I want to. I can travel and work. It's, I don't need to stay in a place. So for me, it's a no-brainer to say, oh, I'm out of here. I'm gone. And that's what I did. But I couldn't believe it many years ago when I did move to Cape Town, how different it was and how safe it was. This is just like the old way it used to be, nice and safe and clean and all that. Bravo! Lekker place that. Yeah. You should definitely consider it, man. Come and join us. You're welcome. For all those, the trouble that we have in this country is we have too many people on the right side of politics and too many people on the left side of politics that are the minority in the country. And the majority of us are in the middle. And we just want to live our lives and enjoy our lives and have a good, safe life. And we keep getting scuttled by these people on the left and the right. And it's actually really irritating. How they get into power, how they handle it, I don't know. Yeah, Sounds like California. You can clean the store of all its goods and not get into trouble. Guys, we're moving to California, man. Let's go. Go and clean out the stores and not get into trouble. That sounds great. Yeah, no, I'm just joking. I get you. It's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. No, that's insane. No, you don't want that. But yeah, crazy stuff out there. Crazy stuff. You can't believe it. You can't believe it. And somebody told me that the UK is struggling these days with a lot of their towns. They're having a tough time there. It's not great anymore. They're also having a hard time. I don't know how Australia is these days. I've always loved the thought of Australia. Shane will tell us. But yeah, I've always thought that Australia is a nice country. Nobody's told me that it's bad or anything like that. And I love the way that people carry on and what have you. One of my friends lives there, and a couple of my friends actually live there, but one of my good friends lives there, and he says he's loved it. So yeah, he moved there, 25 years ago? I don't know. But he loves it. And if I was ever going to move to one place, and that was the one place I thought I would move to. I thought, I'll go there, but I never got around to it, and I'm older now, and I'm staying here, so I'll just stick around, Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just looking at this euro, Great British pound. It's doing strange things. Yeah. I never thought California would be that bad, though. I thought California was kind of okay. But I'm sure in the US, you've got the similar situation where you've got your bad areas and your good areas. And, even like in California, you'll have like a bad corner and a good corner. And it's the way of the world. what they show you on the news is all the bad parts or all the good parts. They never actually show you the reality of it, that there's a good side and a bad side to everything. And yeah, it's like trading. If you look at all the online traders, like me, for example, but if you look at all the online traders, it'll all show you the profits, they'll all show you all the money they're making, they'll show you the good side, and they never actually tell you that it's actually a really tricky game. They never actually tell you that there's some bad stuff going on there and that things can go really pear-shaped for you and you could lose all your money. Nobody ever tells you that. I don't know why. There's very few of us that will tell you that. Maybe it's because if I tell you things are going to go well, you'll keep on watching my videos or something like that. I don't know. But I try to tell you guys the truth, and I try to tell you guys that it can go bad, it can go pear-shaped, and it's not all honey and nice things. Huh. Yeah, but I think it's got a lot to do with that. Like maybe if I tell you everything's going hunky-dory, then maybe you'll watch the videos or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's a truth behind it. And it's the same as when you go to these different countries. There's a truth behind it. And you got to understand that. Beijing, being in the middle like me and you doesn't seem to be fashionable. You have to be on one extreme. Chris, that's actually quite interesting. But yeah, I find a lot when I'm talking to people that if I'm not on their side of the politics or their side of the religion or their side of something, then I'm bad. They look at me as like, what's wrong with you? How can you not, Like, I normally try not to take sides. Like, US politics are a big example of that between, especially with the Donald Trump thing and the, who was it, Joe Biden and all that sort of stuff, And lo and behold, don't say anything, good about either one to the wrong person because they go off on a tangent. I was like, what the hell? For people that like to be down the middle and just live their lives and enjoy lives, which is the majority of us actually. What I find that when you're chatting to people, I don't know if they're propaganded into it. Maybe they're dragged into a certain level or a certain way, and they're led to believe that, and they believe they're right. They have to be right. So it's kind of crazy where I've even had the situation with religion where I've got some friends that are incredibly religious, okay, and I've got some friends that are totally against religion, okay. So and they're both close friends, and now I have an instance where I want to bring them together in the same day at the same place, at my place. And then I start worrying because I'm thinking, ooh, we've got a bit of an issue here. They're going to clash heads. Luckily they didn't. But yeah, it's weird how the world works. But yeah, Chris, exactly. Being in the middle it's not easy, and it's not popular. You're right. It's not popular. You've got to have an opinion, and I like to prefer my opinions to be factual or realistic, not based on hearsay. And so if I have an opinion, it's an opinion based on something that's actually happened or some kind of fact, not some rubbish like the aliens are coming or whatever the case. I'm not going to go there. And no, that's I've noticed it. It's actually quite a big thing. It's actually quite a big thing. So yeah, when you're looking at fundamentals and politics for trading, similar thing. You've got to be careful what you listen to. You've got to be careful who you listen to and what you hear, because it can affect your trading big time if you listen to the wrong people, the wrong thing, or the wrong place. I believe there's a thing for news where it can actually tell you now. I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a thing for news now where if you're watching the news or you're checking out the news or whatever the case, it'll tell you if it's coming from too far left or too far right, what their opinion is, if it's good or bad, and you can sort of draw a line, and they'll give you other articles which from the other side if you want to read the opposing view on the same news. Actually quite interesting that they have to do that these days because of the social media and everything. Very interesting. Ruman, you put the channel on mute and you've been making some big trades in crypto, just made a year's wage. Well done, son. Well done. That's the way to go. Way to go. That's the fun part. That's the fun part when you can hit a huge one. Ground news, is that what it's called? Ground news. There was another name for it as well. I remember there was another name for it as well. I can't remember, but it's actually quite handy because people get like drawn to one side and they don't get the middle road, and this actually gives you a nice grounding on the middle road. Yeah, it might be ground news. Politics in the US have gotten out of control. Blue side, red side, both sides are like gangsters fighting for the street corner. It's funny you say that, JT, because here in South Africa, the country's run by gangsters, in my opinion. I'll tell you what, it's like the mafia running your country, let me tell you. Crazy. So you actually got it. Yeah, okay. I haven't got it. I must actually get it. It's actually quite useful, I believe. I've heard it's quite good. But you guys will know better than me because you got it, so you can actually tell me if it's good or bad. Might be good. Might be a good thing. Might be a useful thing. Don't know. Ground news. Okay. Sounds fair. I'm actually going to look into that. I must actually get it. Because I don't know where I saw it. I think I was watching one of the YouTube videos or something, and some guy said, no, you can get this thing. It's actually got a link in the description, I think. I must actually go and get it. Go and grab it. It's helpful. You get a point of view on everything, you get a better point of view on what's going down and what have you. I think it's very useful. I think it's very useful. So it's been around for a long time. I didn't even know about it till about a year ago. Yeah, there's the propaganda in politics is insane. It's really bad, but it's not just politics; it's everything. They talk about. When you watch the news and they tell you something's happened, you can never really be sure if it's actually happened. You're kind of looking at it thinking, well, what's the story here? But it's good to have something like that can actually tell you what's going down and what's not going down and what have you. So, Bruman, you're still trading Fartcoin. Is it good? Making you any money? Hopefully it is. Hopefully it's doing quite well. Geez, it's been around since 2017. Holy, yeah, no, okay. Maybe I should have been looking at. But I don't bother with things like that. But like I said before, I used to hang my hat on the news, and then I threw it all out, and I just keep my ear to the ground, and I listen out for something that might be there, some kind of rumbling or whatever the case that might affect the trading or might affect something going on the bigger scheme of things. But further than that, I don't bother with it too much. Not today. Yeah, no. What happened with ETH? I don't trade much crypto, so I actually never trade crypto, just about. But if I do, look at ETH. Wow, did you trade that, Bruman? That looks good. Wow. Looks like it's going to break out. Jeez, look at that. Quite serious, eh? What's your opinion on ETH, Bruman? How's that look? And you got this LTC, but this ETH, oh, Ethereum, oh, it's moving, eh? Oh, looks like it's going to break out. Definitely does, eh? And that's obviously having an effect on Bitcoin as well. But Bitcoin is still bearish. Now, if I look at Bitcoin being sort of still bearish and might sort of fall down off that, then I would look at ETH and say, well, surely ETH is gonna follow Bitcoin. That's hit a resistance level, strong resistance level, eh? It seems to have hit a range here, so it might actually fall off of that. Yeah, interesting though, very interesting. Maybe I should start trading crypto more. You can't trade everything, I do like to. Lincoln AVAX made money today. You reckon it's going to 5,000 ETH? That's interesting. Big balls to trade crypto. Do you know what? Trading crypto is the same as trading anything else. You just got to catch it right, and you just got to use the strategy. If you use the strategy, you can trade anything. You can trade lemon peels. It doesn't really matter. The only reason I don't trade much crypto is because I don't know enough about it. I haven't studied it as much as, because I've been trading Forex and indexes and commodities and shares for 30 years, right? 33 to be exact. Crypto, I hardly touched because I didn't believe in it. And so when I say I keep my ear to the ground on things, I don't have a track record with crypto. So if I trade crypto, I'm trading it solely on the technicals. And it'll take me time to get used to it. So, for example, when Bruman says ETH is going to go to 5,000, I look at the chart and I'm like, yeah, probably. I don't know anything about its fundamentals. I don't know where, the background. I can't look at it and say it'll go there because it should or whatever. I don't even know. I can only look at what I see. What I see here is if it breaks above that line, there's a really good chance that it's going to go quite high. How high, I don't know. But like I say, I don't have a background on crypto, so it's difficult for me to call it. But it is interesting. It is very interesting. In fact, I'm going to leave it on Ethereum because if it breaks through there, I might actually give it a shot. But I'm not scared to trade anything. Certainly not scared to trade crypto. It's the same as anything. And for me, as long as you put your trade in place and your risk in place, it's going to be the same thing. It's not going to be different. There was a time when everybody thought Forex was too much to trade or too difficult to trade. Don't trade Forex. Forex is going to take you to the cleaners, and that's what people are saying about crypto now. Same thing. Don't worry about it. It's got charts. It's got trading ability. There's a market. There's buyers and there's sellers. That's all you need. And there you go. Wait for the bounce. Okay, cool. Yeah, I might. Look, they're all the same, whether it's crypto, Forex, commodities, whatever. All the technical side is all the same. And if you follow the strategy, you should be okay following the strategy. And like I say, like Bruman says, I trade what I know. And but I do like to go out of the box as well. And there's a time when you should actually go out of the box and try something different. So I'm willing to try something different, and I'll definitely look at. I've traded a couple of times with crypto and actually won all the trades as well, so I'm not concerned about it. It's just, yeah, I just don't look at it as much as I look at the other stuff. That's all. I should start looking at it more and trade with it because it's all the same. Another day, nothing changes. People feel comfortable because we've been trading the S&P 500 for 30 years. So okay, we'll trade the S&P 500. Okay, fine. Brent, crude oil, gold. It's just things that we're comfortable with things that are in our briefcase, but things that are not in there, we're kind of like, should I touch that? Is it going to burn me? Is it going to, it's all the same. It'll be fine. Don't be scared of crypto, guys. Don't be scared. I'd be scared of investing in it forever because I don't believe it'll be safe forever because I don't think it's got any asset value. But I'm happy to trade it. It's a trade, okay? And don't be scared of trading it. It's not going to be any different to trading anything else. Some people are scared of it. They think it's more volatile, more tricky, whatever the case. If you just keep the strategy right, you keep your stop loss in place, you'll be fine. Pick a direction and go. As Bruman says, he made a year's salary. I can make you a video of how to invest in shares, but it's going to be insanely boring and nobody's going to watch it. I'll think about it. I have gone over it in a couple of the live shows, what investments can do for you and how to do it, because how I invest in shares is completely fundamental. By the way, I don't even look at the chart. I look at businesses and I see them doing well and I see them improving and I see that. And what I do is I'll look at the price to earnings ratio for the future, where I think it's going. I like the way that business is being run. And then I'll make an entry into that trade. Do you know that when I invest, I don't even look at the charts. I don't even bother. I might use a chart to take the trade or to buy it or whatever the case, but my investment account doesn't even have charts on it. It doesn't. It has a buy and a sell button. That's all it's got. You might find that funny, but that's my investment account. It literally doesn't have one chart on it. Nothing. No charts. It does have the information on the companies and things like that. And literally, if I choose a company that I want to add to or buy or whatever the case, I've got a buy and a sell button. I tell it how much I want to buy. That's it. End of story. I can show you on the charts how to invest and how to look for investments and things like that. I will try and put something together for you and talk to you about it and what it's all about. But yeah, investment is just sit and forget, buy it, hold it, and add to it on a monthly basis if you can. And that will make you the money in the long run. That's as simple as it gets. And keep an eye on your companies. If you see the slightest inclination that a company is going to go down the toilet or go bankrupt or whatever the case, then obviously what I would normally do is take every single share in that company, sell everything and put it into something else, a different company immediately, if I see that happening. But it very, very seldom happens, and it's unusual for it to happen. But yeah, I'll see what I can do for you. But like I said, it'll probably be the most boring video on earth. Traits of Rumen, I'll have a look into that as well. Rob's illogical crypto trading. That one I'll do. The illogical crypto trading, that one I'll do. That one sounds great. I'd probably watch it myself. Guys, I got to go now. I've been here for a couple of hours. I mean, it's a comfortable chair, but I've been here for a while. Okay, guys, I think it's time for me to head on and move along to the next thing that I want to do, and that is probably dinner, because it's actually 4 o'clock here. But I like to have my dinner around about now, enjoy it with the family and what have you. So I'm going to do that. And the dogs want fed as well, so that's important. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you make lots and lots of money this week, the rest of the week. I have got another video coming out for you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, and then obviously Monday. What I do now is I bring you guys out an educational video on Monday and Friday, and I do the live shows on Thursday, Tuesday and Thursday. And guess what I do on Wednesday? I actually just take the day off, even for trading. I literally take the day off, go and have a haircut, go whatever. Yeah, have some fun. Okay, guys, thanks so much for watching. Keep your feet on the ground and reach for the sky. Make lots of money. Have a good week, and I'll chat to you guys soon. It's been great being with you here again today. It's been fun. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Ciao.